All right, folks, so here you have 4 very common dog training collars. Of course, there's others, but these are 4 very popular collars that most people use, right? In one way or the other. All right, so you have your standard, flat, thin, cute, pink collar that you attach your dog's tags to, rabies, address, name, all that stuff, that buckles with a very chintzy plastic snap buckle, right? Then you have a good quality leather working dog collar, 1 or 1.5 inch thick, that has a heavy duty buckle on it and buckles like a belt. You have the pinch collar or the prong collar, very controversial to many people, it shouldn't be. And then the most controversial tool in dog training, the electric collar, or the e-collar, or the shock collar, or the remote collar, right? Out of these 4, which is the most dangerous to most dogs? I can tell you what it is, and you're going to be surprised. It's the standard, thin, flat collar that most average dog owners put on their dogs. Reason being, if your dog is not trained, okay? If your dog is well trained, doesn't matter what you use, but if your dog is not trained, most people put these on way too loose. It's thin. If the dog pulls on the leash, it puts a ton of pressure right on the throat of the dog, which is not good. These buckles snap very easily if the dog pulls. They're cheap plastic. And probably worst of all, if your dog pulls, it could easily slip out of this collar and take off. Get hit by a car or something bad could happen. These collars should not be used by anyone unless your dog is extremely well trained, okay? If you're using this, at least switch to a good heavy duty leather collar that buckles. It's not going to cause harm to your dog's throat and your dog can't slip out of it, right? Out of the 4 collars, the one that cannot cause physical harm to your dog, believe it or not, is the e-collar or the shock collar. Can it cause physical harm if you leave it on your dog for days at a time? Absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about. Through straight normal usage, you cannot physically harm your dog with the e-collar. However, you can cause a lot of mental harm to your dog if you don't know what you're doing, and we know there's plenty of people out there doing that, okay? So think about that before you get a collar, all right? If you don't know how to train dogs, stay away from the prong collar and the e-collar. Stay away from this standard collar, and at least put something safe on your dog that's going to keep your dog safe and protected.